And I have it on data too, so
Okay.
we don't even have to worry about it.
All
right.
Let me put mine on
We
there
are
we go.
rocking and rolling.
good.
What's up?
What up?
What's up, my people? Hey, you guys. It is Ali with A Day in the Life with Ali. Y'all know where I am. Wait, my head's in the way. In Phuket still, y'all. I can't leave. And I'm glad I didn't, because I met another amazing soul here since I have been in Thailand for the last, I think we're going on month number 3 now. I'm on month number 3. But I met this guy here. We're gonna start with Siaji, and then AKA whatever he tell you, whatever happens, whatever comes out of this, whatever he tells you. But you guys, thank you guys for subscribing, for tuning into my channel, for clicking that button. If you haven't subscribed, click the subscribe button, click that notification bell. Ding dong. It's free, 99 for you to subscribe, for you to click. Oh yeah, thank you. Fix that. You fix that?
I'll try my best.
Okay.
Wish me luck.
Oh,
Is that good?
well, it's got the fuzzy right there when we put it right there.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah,
Okay.
so that's why I'll put it over by you, since you're a little bit more soft spoken. It looks like you have hair.
Which is okay.
Oh,
But
actually,
now, because you want it to face you, so what you could do.
it'll pick me up. I have a very loud voice.
I have an idea.
I'm a projector.
Let me see if I can.
All right, he's gonna do that, and I'm gonna keep telling you guys how to subscribe. Oh my goodness. This is how we do. It's just, live and in full effect. Whatever happens. So this show is basically Siaji Says. So what does Siaji say about being in Thailand? What's happening? What are you doing here? Why are you here? So yeah, we're gonna talk a little bit, because you guys know there's a great escape, from different places, specifically the US. We are running and jetting and doing all kinds of things. And so welcome everybody. If you guys are joining, please let me know where you are tuning in from. I see you guys on there. It's like 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. It is 10:30 a.m. Where are we at? In Phuket. What you trying to do?
I'm
want to
trying
take
to
it off?
just put the head.
Huh?
Because it's picking this up, yeah.
Oh,
Rather than they're listening to the ocean more than listening to you. That's
okay.
good.
Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me? That better? Yeah, that's better. I just want to make sure it got you.
You look at me, so
Okay.
just put it here.
Yeah, it has that little fuzzy. It's a big one.
How come the
That's
fuzz is coming your way?
It's
That's good.
all right.
Yeah,
It's
we
all
can
right.
hear you.
We can add it as hair.
Okay.
So yeah, let's get started, you guys. So it's Saturday. It's Saturday.
It is.
Y'all. So this is the thing. We don't know what day of the week is. He knows, because he has a job, right, that he has to kind of report to, and some other things in his life, which he's going to share. But I wanted to invite Siaji on to chat with you guys a little bit, because of his experience here in Thailand, what he's been doing, and kind of give you guys, since I'm semi, nomading, passing through and stuff like that, how you can do this. And it doesn't have to be like a short-term kind of thing. So we actually met from, here you guys go, social engagement, y'all. We met from a social media group. We're in Brothers and Sisters of Thailand, I think, on Facebook. And I use one of my very own tips, which is to post something in the group and see who wants to meet, who wants to do whatever. But this was who wants to tell, you guys about their experience. And this guy popped up. We've been trying to do this for 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks now. I think every time we try, something comes up, like he's asleep. I'm usually not. And he's like,
I didn't know you were in Thailand in the first place. I thought you were somewhere, and so you're trying to find time zone that like you're finding a time that's convenient for me.
See, I'm just gonna tell you, we just started off with the excuses. Like, that's just what we do, is starting off with the excuses. But no, this is how we met. So y'all, that tip works. And I ended up getting a number of different people that are interested in sharing their story. So that's what we're gonna talk about today. What does Siaji say about Thailand? So tell us a little bit about yourself. The floor
I think it's
It's
easier.
yours.
I think it's easier if I'm guided by questions.
Okay.
But
Siaji.
I can say,
Siaji.
my name. Yeah, go on.
How old are you?
I am 41.
He's 41 years
Yeah,
old.
in a few months.
In a few months.
Yeah.
Oh, what's your sign?
Cancer.
Your Cancer.
July 10th.
Okay, my brother's July 9th. All right, all right, all right.
We're good people.
Boom, we in here
With
like
all our
swimwear.
feelings, we're great.
Okay, so this is the one that caught me off guard. How long have you been here in Thailand?
I've been in Thailand more than 10 years.
More than 10.
So
Yes, I think you were like 10, then you were like 15, then you went back down to 12, and then you were like on this 20 kick, and I was like,
precisely. I came to Thailand in 2007
okay,
in June. Yeah.
2007
In June. Yeah. I remember it was June 1st, I think. I traveled on the last day of May.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's 15 years.
Gee. So I've been in Thailand 15
Right?
years.
You guys, if we take the 2,
Oh my
subtract
goodness.
the 7, we get a 5, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
15. So I've been in Thailand 15
Wow.
years. Yeah.
All right. Where are you from?
I'm originally from Kenya, but oh yeah.
We
Yeah.
represent.
You got questions to answer regarding that bracelet.
Yeah.
Originally from Kenya, but the world has me now.
Yes. So, Kenya, obviously, when you say that, that just sparks all kinds of love and emotional feeling and all that stuff, because I was in Kenya before I came here and spent like my last 6 months of 2021 in Kenya, developing relationships, meeting amazing people, loving the country. Y'all know, you guys listen to me talk about Kenya all the time, and how that's going to be one of my home away from homes.
Welcome home.
Thank you. I'm honorary Kenyan here in Thailand. So, but okay, so what drew you, or what made you come to Thailand?
It's a very interesting story. Yeah. So I used to work in Tanzania. I used to work at a school in Arusha. Right. So I used to work in Tanzania, and I worked with a couple of colleagues of mine, Hugh and Sally. Now, when my contract was up for renewal, they had advised me and said, look, you seem like somebody who likes to travel a lot, and you like to go places. Have you ever thought of working and living in Asia, for example? And then he said, Thailand would be a great place for you. I was single back then, so I want to say that I was lethal. So
You're gonna have to explain that to the viewers. They don't
and so he mentioned to me, he said, look, Thailand is awesome, man. You will love the ladies there, you will love the life there, you will love the food there, right? And then you will love the life there. And I thought, fair enough. Google was becoming a big deal back then.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went on to Google, and I Googled, just Thailand. And
15 years ago, that had to be a different.
Yeah, absolutely different. Most of the images I got were all these pagodas and all these salas and some Thai food. It looked like just an Asian kind of experience, right? Like the stereotypical Asian experience. So, so I did that, and then I thought, okay, this would be an interesting journey for me. So I said, okay, let me look up teaching opportunities in Thailand. I'm a teacher. So let me look up teaching opportunities in Thailand, which I did, and then I applied for 3 or 4 jobs, right? And then just I believe this was luck. Out of luck, I got responses like that afternoon, and that's how the journey began.
So you're a teacher,
right?
Of what?
So I call myself a language support teacher, but primarily I support students with English language support.
Basically, what he does is lets you know if you missed a comma, if you said ain't instead of isn't. He's like, Ali, that's not in the dictionary yet. I'm just joking. He does not. Y'all, I got a wonderful opportunity to go to Multicultural Day at his school yesterday, you guys. So I wasn't going to jump into this quick, but let's just go there, because part of what I want to talk to you about, not just coming here for a job. So after you got here and you decided to stay, like,
Right.
I mean, you could have gone back home,
Right.
or at this point you could have gone anywhere, right?
Yeah.
But this school that he is teaching at now, this is not where you were when you first came.
No.
Okay.
No, I was actually in Bangkok.
You were in Bangkok.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to talk about the city names and the provinces in a little bit later. This is PG right now, but we're going to really talk about this land of smiles, and they are what they say they are. Okay.
Right.
Thailand is amazing, right?
Yeah.
But he's now at this awesome school here in Phuket, and I got an opportunity to come by, and I think almost got the full tour. I mean, the only thing that I don't think we actually saw, I didn't walk on the football field. I mean, I was there, right? Yeah, we were on the track. But I mean, I got everything, y'all. It is like a mini college campus for these students. So tell us a little bit about the school, because the one thing that I thought was just amazing, and this kind of plays into this story, what I get from you is that there's right now about 67 different nationalities at this school, and it fluctuates, just depends on who's enrolled and that kind of thing. So Multicultural Day is a day for all of the nationalities to come together, showcase their culture, food, entertainment, just who they are. People were dressed up in whatever their national, they were Tibetan. I mean, it's just like a little bit of everything. It was really awesome. So you got to see the melting pot, the real melting pot, y'all. We talk about melting pots all the time. This was real. So tell us a little bit about your international school.
Right. So at the moment, I work with students at the United World College, Thailand. UWC, we call it United World College, is UWC. UWC is we call it a movement.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to interrupt. I
Okay.
swear to God, if we were not sitting here doing this recording, they would not be fixing this boat. I promise
It's okay.
to God.
I think it's picking up a little. Right?
Every time I do a video,
Really?
it's quiet, and as soon as I start, somebody starts handling. Every time. So go ahead. I just want to let y'all know that we didn't plan this. They weren't here before. Okay, go ahead. Yeah,
So United World College is a movement, and we have 18 different schools all over the world. Now it's a movement that was created just after the World War II, and the idea was to bring different people with different ideologies together to see ways that they can foster peace, world peace. And the idea of world peace here is not necessarily the absence of war, it's the idea that people are solving problems. People are solving different things all over the world, right? So, if you're a doctor and you need to treat a patient, then you can get ideas together and you're solving a problem there. And so the idea was to bring nationalities together for peace and a sustainable future. And so that's how the movement began. So what they do is such an amazing thing. They do what is called deliberate diversity. And deliberate diversity means bringing people from different parts of the world, putting them in this educational environment, giving them quality education so that they can go and become leaders and shape the world that they're coming from, or they can shape the world that they have gone into.
Let's talk about this, because I don't think you guys even understand. And I'm going to say something because somebody's on the line right now. This school was so phenomenal that I am ready to steal my grandbabies and bring them here to go to the school. So whoever is watching right now who knows what I'm saying. So tell us the difference about you guys' setup. Just in general, your classroom setup, because that part, like I'm enrolling on Monday myself. I'm trying to see if they take 50-year-olds. He told me they don't have uniforms in my size, but we're gonna work that out. We're gonna get that all together. But how is your setup? Like, you guys have principles that you go by, values that you teach the students. Where is life, balance, academia kind of all rolled in there?
So we have what we call an educational model. And this educational model is you're not just looking at academics, because schools are not just about academics. Many schools will say that anyway, but we live it.
Yes.
We live the mission. We live everything that we do. We go back to the mission and say, how is it making uniting people for peace and sustainability, right? So what we do is we have service. So students have been taught to do service around the world to the community, right? And then we have outdoor education. Most kids in many schools are sitting in the classroom behind the desk, read, write, read, write, read, write, read, write, experiment, read, write, read, write. We want our kids at least 40% outside.
40% outside.
You know, we want them outside, engaging, playing with their friends,
Planting
looking at
mangrove
nature.
trees.
Yeah, yeah. We do have that
They
service
replenish the
opportunity.
mangrove forest, you
Yeah,
guys.
thousands every year. We plant mangrove seedlings, and then thousands every year we go out there and we actually plant the seedlings. Every kid from nursery to grade 12. And most of these are student initiatives, right? We have the outdoor education model. We have activities, and activities here is what you do after school. So, you know, the kids that wanted to take poetry, they go out and take a poetry class. There are kids that are in class, but they also want to study music. They go and learn their Mozart and all those things. They've got football. We've got swimmers. We got a few Olympians have made it through our school. So you can tell that it's rigorous, right?
Yeah.
Then we have social emotional learning, which is at the core of what we believe. We believe in mindfulness. We believe that humans have to be present, so that when I'm having a conversation with you, despite what's banging there, I'm aware that that is banging over there, but we are having a conversation now, and I've got to listen to you and feel that and feed that information into myself. So we believe in mindfulness, being aware of ourselves, being aware of our environment, being aware of our feelings, and so on and so forth. Then we have academics.
Then they have academics.
Yeah, and the students really do well. They make it to Ivy League universities and so on and so forth. So to me, I think it's a valuable educational model, and I think many schools should emulate that.
Yeah. He still hasn't talked about the classroom setting. So they don't have, you know how like when we're in school, we got rows of desks and seats. They have a couple tables, couches, like little pad thingies or whatever that you can lay on the floor. It's very inviting. It's one of those, it's like that welcoming kind of place where you can go. Your classroom, you say like right now you do a max of 6 students per class.
Right.
I'm gonna be the 7th one because I'm also gonna help with board work. I'm great with dry erase, so we already tested that out yesterday. So I'm gonna be helping with board work as well as learning. But one of the things that you were talking about, we were talking about emotions, and I think this is so critical right now because the emotions are high everywhere.
Right.
Kids are feeling what adults are feeling. You know, to think that because a child may not know everything that's happening politically, you know, economically, all that stuff, that they don't understand and they don't feel that, they do feel it. Yes. And one of the things that you were talking about yesterday, because they have trampolines there, they have the garden. Did you talk about the garden? And they, you know, the snack, all of the stuff, right, that the kids have access to. But then they have these huge Lego blocks. So they have things where if a child is distracted or kind of going through something, they can request to go out, take a moment, rechannel, or the teacher. What do you guys call yourself? You don't
We're
call
teachers.
Teacher. Okay,
teachers, yeah.
Can instruct them, hey, go on out, jump in that trampoline, and then come back and resettle. Yeah. And this is what
we just say go get a break, and then the students will decide what they want. What is it that they break? If they want to run and come back, they run and come back. If they want to go and just climb something and come back, they come back. It's finding that balance and giving the kid the trust and responsibility to time themselves and say, I've had a break, it's time to go back and learn. It's hard. It takes a while, right? It takes a minute. But finding that trust is so fulfilling because kids will go out, take a break, and they will come back. Yeah.
Yes. So, okay. along with all of kind of that the structure, because that's what really just took me was how the classrooms are set up.
Yeah,
Very mindful.
you come from home
Mhm.
to come home. So you're
Yes.
coming from home, your living room at home, you're coming home.
So it's not this complete, and so we call our schools, and botanically Bev said it perfectly, institutional, like institutions, which is
Right,
institutionalization.
right.
And we don't realize how that kind of feeds into our penal system, all these things, and we're like really mentally trained that it is completely separate from what we consider comfortable life, at home. And it really shouldn't be. If we want to be able to learn, we should
Mhm.
provide an environment that is conducive for learning.
Agree,
You know?
agree. And if a kid is studying at school, what they cannot practically do in the next 4 or 5 months, you're wasting their time. Um, that's a personal opinion.
Okay.
If whatever they're learning now they cannot practically use in 8 or 10 weeks, you're literally wasting their time, because based on their age and their memory, chances are these are things that they will just remember as theory. But what you want is a practical idea that the kid can use straight away, right from when they go out the classroom.
Right. So sine, cosine, tangent.
Yeah.
Probably not gonna need that.
You probably
Just
might you
yet.
might need that
Eventually.
if you know how to practically use it, right? It's possible to
The Pythagorean Theorem. I found out who Pythagorean was the other day. I was like, oh, it was a person in Africa. Boom, shakalaka, right? Listen, but it's you know, I was just so overwhelmed in a abundant kind of way, just walking through this facility. And the other cool thing is a number of the students there are actually boarded there. They actually
Yes.
stay on campus. So that's part
About 100.
of. And so there's what about 500 kids in the school now, or
Yeah, so
something?
the school has about five, just below 500,
Okay.
and about 100 plus, like slightly above 100 are boarders. I might be wrong. It's might be about 100 students
About 100
are
students,
boarding. Yes.
which is really awesome because the opportunity that some of these kids get, it's phenomenal. First of all, I'm jealous, quite frankly. Their facilities, if I just talk about their facility, I'm going to actually do a video and I'll show you. I took some snippets of the Olympic size pool. I'm going back for swim lessons, because there's no reason in the world I should be here and not have swim lessons with all these fantastic swimmers. It's they have that. They have the yoga facility. They actually have state of the art gym. They have a full, you know, official size, like football, soccer field, football, whatever, track, all of this stuff. And their staff is, they focus on health as well as, the learning and stuff like this. So it's a full balance of things. They have one mural that is amazing. They have murals all over the place, street art, whatever you want to call it. But one is diversity. And tell me about that. What's unique about the diversity sign?
So the diversity sign was actually done by our art teacher, who wasn't an, it was an art teacher at a different school. But we have this program at our school called Artist in Residence.
Mhm.
An artist in residence is where we get an artist from somewhere around the world, and the idea is for them to come and showcase their skills so that the students can get inspired. And so they stay with us for a couple of weeks, usually like a month, sometimes 6 weeks, and they just share their knowledge. And then as that happens, the students go ahead and now they create their own piece of art based on the artist's expertise. So it could be that mural, it could be like a massive giant sculpture, it could be a music piece, whatever it is. So in 6 weeks, the students get that skill from there. We've had drummers come in, Gondo from Cameroon came in. We've had Abalore Subaya from Nigeria come in and set up a giant sculpture in the secondary school, showcasing different cultures of the world. We've had Sese Nobre, who is our art teacher now.
Yeah.
He came in as an artist resident, and then he got employed as an art teacher there. So the idea of diversity, if you look at the sculpture itself, they've taken art motifs from across all the 5 continents, and these are diverse, right? Obviously in Kenya there's hundreds of motifs from different tribes, but just a piece of motif from, say, Africa, and they've taken it, the motif from America, Australia, Europe, and they've put them to showcase on different parts of the letter. And then around that diversity mural, there's different words meaning peace.
Yeah.
They're all in Swahili, English, Arabic,
Thai. Yeah.
every possible language that the students speak at school.
So the thing is, I guess what I was really impressed with is it's not just talk. Because the experience I got in the 3 hours that I was at the school, 2.5 hours, 3 hours, however long I was there yesterday,
About 3 hours, yeah.
was, let me just tell y'all.
Movie Chimani Crabs, Daisy.
Oh, hi, Brayden.
Hey, Brayden.
It's my grandbaby. Give Autumn a kiss for me. So yeah, what was I saying? Oh, so the 3 hours that I was there yesterday, what I kept noticing and paying attention to, and kids are phenomenal. Like, they are the answer to the future, honestly. And how we start them is how they go about life, and they typically finish above that. Like, they finish expansively and things like that. So
Right.
if they're limited, it's because we created the limitations with
Right,
them, right?
right.
And so, y'all, what was so amazing, 67 different nationalities there. US was there. US was represented up in the joint. You know, we was there. I was like, whoop, whoop. But, I mean, it was amazing, because I also was like, whoop, whoop, when they said Kenyan. And then I was like, whoop, whoop, when they said Tanzania. And then they was like Mexico. And I was like, whoop, you know, all of that. Anyway, I was all over the place. Because I feel like I'm honorary everywhere.
I love that.
But the kids, y'all, it was, you would, if they didn't have on the shirts or whatever, like their flag or whatever, you wouldn't have known, outside of maybe they look a little bit different, but you really can't tell. Everybody was doing everybody's mingled in there. When Siaji's group got up and did their entertainment performance, the mix of people up on that stage doing the African dances and all of that, and then the crowd going wild, and it was really, really an amazing experience. And to see it firsthand playing out the way that, when we talk about diversity, I think that's really what we mean. When we talk about melting pot, I think that's what we really mean.
Sure.
And to actually see it in action, I am a believer that every negative thing, like in terms of race and bigotry and prejudice and stuff like that, will end because we are truly multicultural and we're mixed.
Agree.
You know, that's what's going to be what breaks all of this.
I think I absolutely agree with you, and I would add that proximity creates empathy. When you're close to somebody, whether it's somebody you agree with or not, you get to see their point of view. You get to understand why they feel that way. But if you're away from them and you don't ever interact with them, it's very difficult. I have an example of a story I can tell you. I won't mention the student, but I have a student who came from a very Christian religious background. Came to our school. Was that you?
Might be me.
Yeah. No, it wasn't you. So I played football with him. The student came from a very, very Christian religious background in Africa, staunch.
Okay.
Came to our school, was roommates with this gentleman from Asia, from another background as well, Muslim, right?
Okay.
And so they ended up being best friends, right? They ended up being best friends. They didn't know much about each other, but they learned so much about each other later. One day, a student from Africa comes to me and says, look, I need your advice and I need you to help me. So-and-so is my best friend. and I would like for him to ever meet my family one day, right? There's
Okay.
only two problems. He's Muslim
Mhm.
and and he is gay.
Oh my gosh. Oh, he bringing it in heavy.
So now
That's
my
tough.
dilemma is this: if my dad ever hears that my roommate and my best friend is gay, I'll be out of the school by midnight.
Isn't that crazy? Just
You know?
that alone just gave me like, ugh, chills.
And so he was asking what to do. I said, look, obviously this is not something that you will hide from your father forever, but this is that opportunity for you to showcase your leadership. This is why you're here. You're here to learn that being a Muslim does not equate to being a bad person. You're here to learn that even gay people need best friends
That's right.
from Africa.
Oh,
Obviously, it didn't go that easy. What
Of
are you
course
talking
not.
about there? And things like that. But
never is that easy.
at the end of that conversation, we ended up, coming up with a viable solution for ways for him to become an adult. He was 17 then, for ways for him to become an adult with sensible decision making. Yeah, they're still best friends. He's in university in America, and the other gentleman is in university in Europe.
Did did he meet his parents? Did he, all of
I
that?
don't
or-
think they have met yet.
Okay.
I don't think they've met yet.
but possibly told them about his friend.
Yeah, I will get back to you on that.
Let
'cause
me
I can ask
know.
him, yeah.
So not only are they creating this space where the kids feel more emotionally in touch, it doesn't mean like, emotionally, kids are walking around just crying and having temper tantrums. No, it means that they know how to handle and deal with the emotions when they come, or if they don't, they trust
Right.
that they can come to one of their teachers and say, hey, this is what I'm going through. And that's one of the things I actually witnessed yesterday is all the kids running up at different times, running up to you, running up to some of the other instructors and stuff, and just being so excited to tell you whatever it is that they
Yeah.
were telling you.
Yeah.
And I just to witness this, I've been removed from school for a long time.
Have you?
Just it's been a little while since I was there. Not very long, because I'm very young. But I don't remember, like we had good teachers. Like I have some of my favorite teachers and stuff like that in school. But I think the persona and the idea, it wasn't that easy to go up and just have these types of conversations because we don't talk about that. Those aren't things that we discuss. And so that leads into like the stereotypes and things like that. Because you're in a multicultural school, how much of the do the kids are so humble and honest and stuff like that. Either they're going to come to you and say something that they've heard,
Yeah.
and so like you have to like dismantle that, or there may be something that comes up because of an interaction. Do you guys deal with those types of things at the school?
Yeah, there are stereotypes. When I came to the school the first time, I was the first ever black person to be employed, and so there was that kind of shock.
And when was that? Give me the timeline.
2011.
2011.
So yeah, so that's recent, right?
Yeah.
I won't even tell you. In Bangkok, my first school in Bangkok, the first day I walked in, the students ran to the back of the class. It's in 2007. There's a progression. But anyway, so that stereotype is there and it exists. It is whoever is going to sustain that stereotype that is really okay. And we encourage that. We encourage you to be alarmed that somebody looks different because that's a learning moment for you. The kids always come to me and say, "Why are you black?" And I go, "Well, people are different. Some people are born with blue eyes. Some people are born with really brown and dark eyes. Like
His mom liked the sun more.
Some people have got blonde hair. Some people have got really curly and dark short hair like me. Some people have big heads. Some people have tiny heads.
Really?
Understand? You see mine.
How did that work?
Half your screen. The
The
idea.
angle, it's the angle.
Yeah, I think the idea that stereotypes won't exist is far-fetched because they will always exist. We always assume that a tall person will be great at basketball. You'd assume that a Kenyan would be really great at running.
Yeah.
I'm probably Probably not.
I
But
was gonna say I was there. I tried to run a few times on the beach and it didn't work. I was like, this is so unfair.
but yes, you deal with it, and it's the way you deal with it that is off, right?
Yeah.
We you know we there was one time we had students coming in from countries that at that time were countries that had a disease outbreak, and there's that stereotype of the fear that it's going to happen. But the more you mix with these people, as I mentioned, proximity creates empathy. You realize, hang on, these are great people. Like,
Yeah.
this is a good, cool guy. I've always believed that, we all believe that our country is the best country in the world, but there are other best countries out there.
Listen, there's 193 total. I'm here to tell you, and I'm going to say this because I'm from the States. You're from Kenya. I'm honorary Kenyan, but whatever. What's up, y'all? Rich, hey, let me know where you're checking in from. Um, I think in the West, and I'll just say the US because I'm very particular about the US because my focus is on my friends and family and stuff back in the US because we have very strong stereotypes, things that we believe about the world in general. Anything outside of our borders, we just assume it's third world. I mean, I know we know there's some places that aren't, but I think naturally we think that the United States is the best thing since sliced bread, before sliced bread, whatever. Um, cut the crust off bread, already have the jelly on it bread. You know what I'm saying? And I love this nomading experience because of who I get to meet along the way. I was in Kenya for 6 months. That doesn't mean I know every type of Kenyan.
Yes.
It doesn't mean that I know, the people who live in the city versus the people who live on the beach. But I know behaviors. I know culturally how people are because every day I lived it and I lived it like them. I walked every day. Like even my Kenyan friends back in Diani, they would roll by me in a tuk-tuk. And it was one of my friends, he would all the time. And I would always walk to the beach because I taught yoga in the morning.
Yeah.
And I'm walking, and everybody got used to just seeing me walking. They'd be, they'd say good morning and all of that. And mambo, whatever. I've already Yako and stuff like that. And they just got used to me. And a couple times friends would be rolling up and I didn't notice because I'm on my journey. I'm trying to get there. And they'd pull up in the tuk-tuk. Ali, you want to ride? And I'm like, yeah, only because I'm gonna be running late. Me and the baboons, we had conversations on a daily basis. Y'all remember these baboons that I used to talk to, the monkeys in the back of the house. That is one thing I truly miss here. I miss the monkeys. I know they got them, on the islands and stuff like that, but I miss that. But you learn the cultures, you experience the cultures. But there are people who live in the city who never go to the coast and don't experience. So it's no different than being in the States, for example. And for example, I lived in Chicagoland and I knew so many people who never went to the beach. And it was like around the corner, and it's because everybody has a different place, different mindset. And for me, I think I call it travel ed. You travel and you literally get an opportunity to really learn what life is about. And so your students at UWC, or when you were teaching in Bangkok, you were the first.
Yeah.
And this is why firsts are so important. People are like, why you guys always have to say the first? Because there are sometimes people have never seen the likeness of us. Or if you're in Kenya, they may not have ever seen.
Yeah.
There's a lot of diversity in Kenya, though. There's a lot of diversity. But you know what I mean? If you're in the village, you may not have seen, someone from Germany or something like that, So how do you manage that with the kids? Is that, outside of the situation with this young one or the 17-year-old, is that something that you guys add into your curriculum?
Yes. The idea of education is to get people uncomfortable. The whole idea around education is to make people uncomfortable. And it's this discomfort that creates learning, right? You won't learn if you're constantly comfortable, right? It's the same thing, right? Like if you're okay with, I know how to make phone calls every day. I know how to make phone calls. You're not learning, right?
Right.
Move it further. Do you know how to make a phone call and video call at the same time, and and work at the same time?
Right.
Do you know how to make this phone call a conference call? Keep going out of this comfort zone, right? So we encourage people to see difference in people, but also see the difference for what it is. This is it,
Yeah.
but this is not the person,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
As I can say, as the person who was the first black teacher to be employed, I can say have transformed the lives of hundreds of students that I have lived and worked with, who probably had a very different mentality on what it is like to be black, right? Or what it is like to have a black teacher in their class, or what it is like to have an African teacher, their homeroom teacher. It's so different.
And his English is so good.
Right, and that too, right?
You know how we hear, you speak so well. You
Yeah.
speak so well.
Yeah, I think those are those are statements that are like they mean well, but
Yes.
at the end of the day, they don't know. And if somebody doesn't know, they don't know. Like the kid that's asking me why am I black, they just want to know why you're black, right?
Absolutely.
They just want to know why you're black, and the way you explain it to them really determines how they will want to learn further,
Oh man.
right? Because
And if they want to ask another question like that.
yeah, and if they'll ever ask somebody else, because if you throw it out at them and tell them idiot question is that, you've blocked learning from that student's experience.
Yeah.
Just go in and assume. I always believe that you have to assume positive intent with strange people that you meet that don't look like they're a threat.
Right.
Assume positive intent, right? I could have come to this interview and I'd end up in a body bag. I don't know. I would have responded to that Facebook.
I don't have a bag that can like carry him in, or whatever. Let's talk about that. Considering, what do you do outside of teaching?
Do you mean after school? Yeah, I do.
Life. What do you do? You got family.
Yes.
Now.
I got family. I have a wife and 2 little daughters.
Yes.
Yeah.
They look like twins, but they're not.
There's Zawadi.
Beautiful girl.
Zawadi is a Swahili word for gift.
Yeah.
And then there's Imani, which is Swahili word for faith or belief.
Okay.
Yeah, so I got a wife and 2 kids. I do photography on the side. I play football. It's actually a football shirt for Kenyan team. Kenyans living in Thailand. See the Thai flag.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, basically I represent Kenyan football. Just don't get paid for it yet. I take part in photography and videography. I create content online. I have a nickname. I have a nickname called the Kikombe.
Oh yeah. What does that mean?
The Kikombe is a cup, right? Basically, Kikombe is a Swahili word for a cup.
This cup runneth over.
Yeah, Kikombe. And I often look at myself as a cup.
Okay.
Or I look at human beings as a cup. In the sense that whatever you're drinking from a cup is something that is going to transform your life. Or your moment, or you, right?
Yeah.
There are people that like coffee. I'm not going to mention who. There are those that drink tea. and there are people that like wine, there are people that drink water. Whatever you put in a cup, if it's water and you're thirsty, your thirst will be quenched. If it's coffee and you need to be activated, you get activated. If it's tea and you want to get smart, you will get smart. Right?
Oh.
So I look at human beings as a cup, and whatever I'm getting from them is something that is going to transform me. But there's also an acronym. K is for knowledge. So I look at somebody with the knowledge that they're going to give me. Everyone is an expert at something. Bill Nye said
That's what he told me yesterday, and I'm still trying to figure out what I could go to the school and teach. So
but you are an expert at something.
Thank you.
You're an expert at sharing your ideas. You're an expert at traveling and giving thoughts, right? You're an expert observing different cultural experiences, right?
I love that.
You should make money out of it. And then the I is information. Everyone is giving information, and everyone has got an inquiry to ask questions to you about something. And then the other K is keenness, right? I believe that everyone is keen. It's our level of getting them engaged.
Okay.
It's our level of getting them engaged that doesn't work, right? If somebody's not excited with you, you're just not engaging them enough. but I believe that everyone is key, right? Then the O is open-mindedness. I strive and I want myself to be very open-minded. Um,
Yeah, go ahead. We're going to talk about that open-mindedness thing. Go ahead.
then M is mindfulness. Humans, we strive to be aware of what is going on around us. We've always been aware ever since, right? Like, and then the B is balance.
Ooh.
It's time for school. There's time for play football. There's time to take part in artistic adventures. There's time for trouble. There's time for crying. There's time for laughing. There's time for being kiddish. There's time to be serious. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And then the last one is education or enlightenment. Everyone is an educator. I've learned so much from you, you know, just the last few hours, right? I've learned so much from you just by your post. You know, you're saying I need people to come and share, and I thought I've never seen anything like this in this group. So well, yeah, I'll go in. I've been here a while, so I added. And what I've learned is you can create big friendships from that. And well, I want to see myself as a friend now. So we can create lasting friendships and such educational moments and enlightening moments from each other. So Kikombe, Kikombe.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And this is the way. This is the way. This is how we are going to bridge cultural gaps, y'all. By giving each other space, grace. Ooh, put something together with this space
Yeah,
and
let's do
grace. Yeah, right.
I'll write it. Go for
Write
it.
that down.
All
We're
right,
gonna
go on.
put some
Space
by creating space and grace with each other across. You know.
across different races.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. We can do this. So he's a wordsmither. He's a wordsmither and a fantastic content creator. We're gonna make sure that we share all of your tag information too, that you want people like for the school. You
Yeah.
want them to check that stuff out and everything. But let's get back to kind of you a little bit and this is really this last part here. I really want to just talk about how to share with people this experience of being here. You've been here for a long time, but is Thailand your first international place that you lived outside of Kenya?
No, Tanzania.
Tanzania.
I've been to Tanzania, but I've traveled to different places
Okay.
here and there.
Okay, so
Yeah,
he's a
but
traveler.
living is Tanzania and Thailand.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so I want to talk about that a little bit because I think people still think that it's almost impossible to get up and do it. And so when you were sharing what else you do outside of teaching, the reason I asked that is because all of those things, like you were saying, if you have something that you're good at, turn that into something monetary if you can, right? And so he literally listed 5 other things, just speaking, that he is, that he can do outside of if he wants to take a break from teaching. And so I mentioned that to say there's so much when you start to dig into yourself,
Yes.
pay attention to who you are and what you're capable. It's kind of like talking to a kid, but just to an adult who doesn't know what they don't know.
Yeah.
So how do you and I'm not a person, I don't like to coerce people to do anything, but what would you tell people, number one, just about traveling? Like if you were talking to a fellow Kenyan
Mhm.
back home, on the west side, what would you tell them about traveling?
First of all, I think travel is the best way to break stereotypes, and it's the best way to create empathy towards what's happening around the world, and it's the best way to learn about other cultures. And as we mentioned before, proximity creates empathy. Secondly, and I'll put these together later. Secondly, I believe that everyone out there has a talent. And even if you don't know what your talent is, everyone out there has a talent. Now, which feeds on to what's happened the last 3 years. People need to find ways to monetize this talent. People need to find ways to monetize these talents. I kid you not, whatever talent you think you have, somebody's out there making money with it. Some people are really great at just speaking. Somebody's out there making money with speaking. Like there people are doing reviews of pens on YouTube and they're making money out of it. you can do this anywhere in the world. All you need is the appropriate machinery, right? You don't have to be in your country to create content. So that's one way. Career-wise, every possible career that you have, there are international opportunities somewhere for the same, right?
Yes.
Every cultural opportunities you have are all over the world. And these are things that people should be able to chase. But the most important thing is be a risk taker, right? If you don't take risks with travel, your 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 opportunities for opening your mind are minimal, right? And I've always believed, even if you're going away for a few months, do it.
Do it.
Do it. Even if you're going away for a few days, go see it, come back, you will learn something out of it, right? If, like I mentioned earlier, if you're constantly in your comfort zone, you're not really growing. You've got to get out of this comfort zone, right? I have a dream to one day go to Iceland and do photography and just sit there. I don't like cold weather, no, but I want to believe that I will get some exciting opportunities if I ever go there.
It's beautiful there. We could do some ice hiking, take the girls. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So yeah, I think take the leap. There will be ways to make a living out of what you already have. If I just say, like, there are people in Thailand, not just Thailand, people living abroad in yoga. There are people living abroad banking. There are people abroad investing and doing investments, investment accounts, and buying investment shares and so on and so forth. And they don't necessarily come from those countries.
Right.
There are people living abroad dealing with real estate, right? There are people living abroad buying in the transport industry, not necessarily just the same routine that you're constantly seeing. I've met photographers that are not Thai and they're living here. They're making great money, international as well. So there are opportunities out there. You just have to jump and dive at them. And it's also a lot of money.
Yes. There is. It's amazing. That's the other part that's really cool to see is, Thailand actually is it's very well developed in a lot of different areas, specifically in the cities and stuff. But even in, Phuket, I think, is probably the most developed province, then probably Pattaya or whatever after that. But just to see even now, today, the the construction, the building up, you know things are happening, things are moving. And it's not just in Thailand. When I was in Kenya, I felt like every time I walked down the street,
something going up.
Bam. Same thing in Tanzania. There was just a lot of construction. It's a different way of doing and thinking about things, but I think the traveling first. So number one, we understand that what we know is not law, right? So the way that we do things isn't necessarily the best way. It isn't the only way. And I think a lot of times, and this isn't just a US American kind of thing, it's a lot of people, if you've been siloed in a certain place, it doesn't even occur to you that somebody might be doing something different. Like, this is how their government handles things, and you have to adjust. You got to learn how to figure it out. So are you a resident?
I am a resident.
Okay.
I'm a resident, and so the way it works in Thailand is if you're living and working here and you have a working visa, they will you will apply and get a work permit.
Okay.
And when you have a work permit, you're given like a yearly visa.
Okay.
Then you become a resident.
So do you reapply for your visa annually?
The way it works here, yes, you will reapply every year.
Now, so let me ask you this: since you're working with the school here, do they do something for you? Do you have to apply through? Oh, okay.
I go and sign loads of papers.
Okay.
And that's it.
Okay.
So even when I was leaving Kenya, I just showed up at the embassy with the papers they sent me, and that was it.
That was it.
Yeah. Also, this is something I forgot to mention. If you're underpaid in your job, there's somebody out there who is really giving loads of money. I was underpaid at my school in Kenya, And I look online and this, I mentioned I was Googling and I look online and I'm thinking, goodness me, like why, how is it that teaching would make this amount of money, 4 or 5 times what you would make. And it goes the same with my colleagues that I work with. And I work with colleagues from very many nationalities, almost 20 different nationalities. It's the same pattern. If sometimes you're not feeling valued at your place of work, there are opportunities sometimes internationally, and you can jump at them. And these people are willing to do so much to make sure that your life there is comfortable, because it transfers to the clients that they will have, or the service that they're giving. If your employees are happy,
Yeah.
then the service that you give out there is quality.
Like rocket science, right?
I know. How has nobody ever thought of that? Oh wait, I'm not the first.
Right, right. But it's crazy that it actually is that simple, right? If you treat people right, that it's the energy. So
Yeah.
what is around you exudes from you, and what you pull in, all of those things, it plays a big part. We were chatting the day before the multicultural, we had the phone chat, and one of the things that you were talking about was kind of building the circle,
Mhm.
that support group. That's the emotional help too, because a lot of times people are afraid to leave.
Yeah.
Like we don't. Everybody doesn't have a get up and go travel spirit.
Yes,
Like, okay,
yes.
I'm just going to go and figure it out. People want to go, but people are afraid. That's that get over that hump.
Yeah.
Do something different. But how difficult, or how easy or difficult was it for you to feel like you got the circle around you that can support you through this last 15 years here in Thailand?
So I have to say, for me, I was one of those people that took that risk, right? And I can say that if you don't have a circle of people around you when you first move to a different spot, it can be challenging. It can be tricky, right? But the world has become so small now.
Yeah.
I kid you not. If I look up Kenyan community living in Portugal, there's an app for that. There is something there. If I look up American community living in Portugal, who actually know people who have set up, there is opportunity. If I look up American community in Iran, there is something for
There
that.
too.
A good example is brothers and sisters in Thailand. If you look at black people living in Thailand, boom, it's going to be there. So that is a good hint, actually, that you brought up, that most people that are not sure of what ways to make a move, that's a great hint that they can then use and say, you go, I want to move to Dubai, but I'm not very sure.
Mm-hmm.
Living in Dubai as a black person, figure it out. It's there. There are opportunities there. And then once, for example, I'll give you an example of mine. When I got to Thailand, I didn't have that information, and so what I had is just me. Until one day I had to go and renew my paperwork at the embassy, which was 60 days in. I needed some paperwork done at my Kenyan embassy, so I could take that to the education office and all that. And I got there, and there were so many Kenyans. And I walk into the embassy, and they give me tea. I'm thinking, okay, I feel home. Like all these black people in the same spot speaking.
Right.
What is going
We
on?
all say that. It's all like
How is this possible? Like, I was meant to be here first, right? And you realize that you aren't actually there first. There are so many people willing to. I learned where to do my hair. I learned where to get Kenyan food. I learned where to meet people. I met loads of Americans who one and actually ended up being my colleague in Phuket.
Really?
It was such a great reunion as well. So those are. It's a great pointer. Look for people that relate with you when you go to a place that's foreign.
Yeah.
You will find people that relate with you. You won't be alone.
Exactly. And it could just be activities. It could be things that you like. You could be like a dog lover. Find a group, football group, yoga people.
Yeah.
I mean, if you stick with like certain things that are things that you love, because they do say if you start, part of traveling is meeting other people, but meeting like live people who have like lives. So how do you meet people with like lives? Is you look for things that you love to do, or you do the things that you love, and you will naturally, because you're not going to be playing football with somebody who doesn't play football.
No.
You're going to end up playing football with a whole bunch of people that already play football. And what does that do? If you're struggling with, God, I need to get on a different health regimen, $20 bet. There's 20 people that have different, and so you start developing. You're not out here looking for something that doesn't exist. You're doing what you do. If I want to, I love paragliding. If I want to continue paragliding, I've already met some people that would be my circle.
You're not inventing a new sport, like and one thing, like if you just mentioned, if you're taking part in these activities like horse riding, you will learn so much from somebody who's been horse riding in Russia.
Yeah.
You will learn that they do things different there. You're learning a different aspect of culture.
Yeah.
I've learned that the way we play football in Kenya is so different from the way, say British people play football. The way we go and do activities at the beach is very different from the way somebody would do it if they lived, say, in Italy, in Milan, right? And those are such wonderful educational moments to have.
Yeah. We could go on forever, y'all. We could literally, we need probably like a part 2, part 3 of this conversation. Yeah. But this has been fantastic. I think you shared a whole lot about like just the benefits of being here in Thailand, stuff that I'm guessing people really don't necessarily think of or see. So I really wanted to showcase that. Before we jump off or whatever, because he's got a life.
So do you. You have a life. You have to go to another beach.
I do. Yeah.
Yeah, she has to go to another beach.
I think the last time I was doing a podcast in the morning, and I had to leave early from the podcast to actually come down here to get on a yacht and go and take some friends out.
Listen to that.
This is the life, y'all. This is, I'm trying to make sure that I'm available for class on Monday or Tuesday of this week, so I can come in and sit in. But it's so amazing, the part that you just said. You're playing football, but you're playing it different than, how a Russian would play it, or how a Polish person or a German person or American, whatever the case may be. And you're getting all of that, and you can't do anything except to sit and listen.
Yeah.
Like you're literally like, oh,
really?
Oh, that's what you what? And then you can be, and depending on we literally just met yesterday.
Yeah.
Physically and at the multicultural event, and I feel like I've known him forever.
Same here.
You know what I'm saying? It's like crazy. When you find like lives, you don't have to work hard to have meaningful relationships with people.
True. You
really just don't have to work hard, y'all. So there's a place and a space. What was it? There's a space and grace and a place. Hold on. Throughout every race.
Well done.
Boom, right there. Look at that, y'all. We're going to put that on a t-shirt. Look for a t-shirt. So share with everybody how they can connect with you, how they can follow you, support, whatever the case may be.
I'm on social media. On Facebook, I am Ideas Kikombe. So IDEAS. That's my Facebook page. On Instagram, I am the Kikombe.
Okay.
So the Kikombe. I think on Instagram you have to put at.
Yes, that's right.
Similar to Twitter, I'm on Twitter as the Kikombe,
okay.
and so on and so forth. Yep, that's me. And
and then what's the school's website?
Oh, the school's website is UWC Thailand. www.UWCthailand.ac.th. Yeah. My website is www.thekikombe.com.
Okay. So that's easy to remember.
No, I've got a website. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So you guys can follow Siaji, see what he's doing there, see what's happening with the school. If you're wanting to learn more, if you've got school age kids like he does, and you're wanting to figure out where you can put, because when I was in Tanzania, I think I met a lot of people from the UK who came with their children. A lot of people are coming from the States with their kids. And the first thing they say is, does anyone else have kids? What are you doing for school? And, and some people are still doing the schooling. And so, all you need is internet.
Actually, there is a community that do homeschooling, and they actually meet together during certain days so the kids can get like this social connection. It's so cool, right?
Yeah.
I know a lady that set up like a homeschooling spot where if you needed specific instruction, you had to set up an appointment and show up there and bring your kids there to play around.
Okay.
But every other time you're homeschooling your kids, and then a day like Tuesday, they had like a beach meet. So all kids that were homeschooling their kids would meet at the beach. And then if they needed any specific maths instruction, there'd be somebody sitting on the side trying to tell them this and this, or consulting with the parents and stuff.
Okay.
It was amazing. Yeah.
That's really awesome, you guys. So, I mean, what I'm really sharing with you all is anything is possible if you just believe. I think that's a song. Somebody sang that song. I don't know, Anyway, this life isn't that, and I'm just going to show y'all the life that I'm talking about. That life. See that life? That life on the horizon there? Yeah, I like to rub it in. That life is available to anyone who actually wants it, right? And all you have to do is just kind of reach out your hand, take a step. Just because you want it doesn't mean you're going to get it.
Exactly.
You actually got to take the steps, move forward. So I'm hoping that this has been helpful for you guys. Do you have any, you've said so many golden nuggets throughout this whole exchange. Is there anything last, parting, what you would leave with our listeners today?
Oh, gee.
Dearly beloved. We are gathered here today.
Dearly beloved. I think if you, like I mentioned earlier, you've got to mix with people. You've got to look for friends that don't necessarily agree with your ideologies, especially those that don't agree with your ideologies. Those are the people you should really, really listen to. Those are the people that grow you. Get that discomfort, understand their ideologies, and you'll be surprised that you will learn so much.
Yeah.
So get that discomfort, soak it in, then just listen, and you will learn so much, right? If you haven't traveled, take that discomfort, go to a different city that you haven't been to, start there, just see what it's like, make a friend there, and then see how it transforms your life.
I love it.
Yeah.
Transformation and travel. Put that on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
This is really awesome. I appreciate you taking some time this morning out of your busy schedule.
It wasn't so busy, I can tell you.
But and this is funny because this is my spot. You guys know I'm here a lot, and to continuously meet people who this is their spot too. This is, it's like one of those things where you realize it's destiny. To continue to meet people who are really awesome. These connections are just waiting. It's like a grant that you don't know is available.
Yeah.
It's like connection that is just waiting for us to take those steps forward so we can actually make them. So I'm going to really read. Hey, you guys that have actually made comments. Hey, Anthony, Bev, you said, what's a good amount to save in order to move? So that's the thing. In my travel course, one of the things that I share is kind of a expense plan spreadsheet where you, number one, start saving. I actually will be rolling out an ebook, a very simple quick ebook on how to save money. I basically paid off $24,000 of debt in 1 year, and I show people how to do that.
Well done.
It's all it takes is discipline, which is the hardest thing, right? But discipline to do it, and you can do these things, and so with saving money and knowing how much money you're going to need, you have to know what your spending habits are. So you got to write down what you're doing now, and then you have that column, like when you're cleaning your house and you got the keep, you got the donate, and you got the throw away column. So what are the things that are required necessities What are things that are okay, nice to have, must haves, nice to have kind of thing. And then as you're going along, you're just like, well, do I really need them? Y'all, I've been gone for almost 2 years, and I have been using the same bag of clothes. Well, I just buy more clothes wherever I am, inexpensively, because y'all know I'm a budget traveler. But there's ways to survive in this world, by putting the things that are important, and you learn them along the way. Because if you've never done it, you don't know
No.
that some of these things, behaviors have to change. And so that dollar amount varies depending on your habit, family. So you've got more people in your family. What you would need every month would be different what I need every month. Like I can survive right now. I'm paying $450 a month for a 1-bedroom apartment. It ain't even 1 bedroom, it's a studio, but all of my utilities and everything are included, and it's short term. Like I didn't do a long term. If I did a long term, I would probably pay less, right? And so it really, really just depends on what you think you need, what you have to have,
and the living expenses for where you're going.
Exactly.
Right? So if you're living in London, it would be different.
And London is expensive.
London's
gonna get you.
London's very expensive.
It's gonna get you. You're gonna try to have a loaf of bread, and you're gonna be like, I can't even eat this loaf. You know what I'm saying?
You put it in a frame, you laminate it because it was so expensive. You put it in a museum.
It's crazy, and so that's why some people ask me, how do I decide where I'm going? Sometimes it's based on the ticket price to get there and the cost to stay there for 2 to 3 months. What does it cost? What is it going to cost me next? So that's how I would start to answer that question. Thank you for asking it. Hey, Anthony, thank you guys for checking in. We're going to get out of here, y'all, because we got things to do, people to see, and places to go. Appreciate you guys always tuning in. If you guys haven't seen some of the things I've posted before, I'll put this in all of Siaji's information will be in the description, as well as you guys. I have merchandise. I will put the link in there, as well as my travel course. I'll put the link in there as well. If you want to support, you got Cashapp, put it in there too. If you guys are wanting to support, we appreciate you. Nobody, I don't think anybody's above receiving a blessing. And so we thank you guys each and every day for being here with us, checking things out. If you think someone else can use this message, please share it with them. We need more of us out here. And I mean us, just people in general, crossing those borders and stuff like that. So you guys, we're going to get out of here. Y'all know the drill. Tiddles and noodles, peace and hair grease.
Cheers. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all.
Oh, welcome. Until next time, y'all.